day, Trinbago. Good day to all my Trinbagonian brothers and sisters. Good day. And my brothers and sisters in Latin America. I am not forgetting about all you. So good day to you too. Another blessed day. Another blessed day. Good, bad, or indifferent. Every day the Lord Father give us a blessed day. So take a second out your day and make sure you give thanks. Show some gratitude and appreciation. Because He give it and He had to give it. Show some gratitude. All right. Let's begin here. But first, all you come with me. I had to make a coffee. I up here early this morning thinking about how I going and do this video. Honestly, I'm thinking, me I know how to do this, huh? Hold on, Hold on. Me I know how to do this. Because what I had to say, it's not like I ain't tell all you. It's not like I ain't warn all you. I tell all you. And all you does watch this. All you prepared, all you ready, all you know. But the ones who watching for the first time, all you need to pay attention. So, here's what's going on. Whole thing with going on with Russia and this one, that. You know what? Hold on a second. Give me a second there. All right, I'm back. I couldn't make coffee and do this and hold phone and. But I good, I hear that good. Anyway. All talk about Russia and this one and that one and this getting involved and that one getting involved and Miss Kamala opening she mouth and the autistic avengers doing everything possible to destroy the blasted country. Me I know where to start. But let me talk family and we go see where it go. Okay, so here is the latest. Now let we start with the man causing all the blasted problem. Let we start with Mr. Trump and the United States government. Everybody know why he going after Venezuela. It's because of the oil. No other reason. Why? Because if he secure the oil, they can reduce the deficit in the country and save the country from financial collapse, which it is going through right now. The Supreme Court in the United States is about to tell Donald Trump that all that money he collect on tariff in all these nations, he's going to have to pay that back, which will financially destroy the country. No more America. You can't pay people. You can't look at they have social programs and things like that. Lot of people receiving social welfare and different types of fundings and things. Disability or all kind of thing. Well, they can't pay them. Checks getting delayed. You had to sign up again. You had to go through all this thing and fraud, and there's all kind of fraud, and that's all they're saying. All right. Now, what happened when that money don't go through? There's millions of people in your country that go starve. You have people that rely on that to get medicine and healthcare services and things like that. So people go dead from that. Okay. Now you have to pay back that money. Where you getting it? You can't pay it. Moreover, How you going to pay your soldiers? How you paying police? How you paying these people? You can't pay them. And me I know about you. But partner, my loyalty end when I can't put food on the table, you know. My loyalty done. Me I have no loyalty to you or your business. If I can't put food on my table and feed my family, my loyalty gone. My only unwavering loyalty is to the Lord Father Himself. Is to God. That is my only unwavering loyalty. Is to God Himself. Other than that, if I can't put food on my table, I don't care what your cause is. Me is starving and starving my family for you. So, that is a problem. Donald Trump opened up his mouth a couple days ago, I think. And he say after Venezuela, Colombia is next. Open up your mouth and say, Colombia is next. And then, Cuba. Going after Cuba. Even the news reports state that since Donald Trump was last there, the problems in Venezuela, the starvation and all these things were caused by the United States and their policies and sanctions against the people of Venezuela. So I tell all you, they starve the people. Because you ain't want them bringing food inside the country. You can't import nothing. Embargoes. Okay. So he starved them. Same thing they do to Cuba. Same thing they're doing in Venezuela. You have the young people in the country who don't like Maduro. They don't like him. But they do not want America coming in and stealing their resources because they know it will further impoverish them. So they don't want America there. America turned around and closed off the airspace in Venezuela. And the Southern Caribbean. One into the Southern Caribbean. And strangely, these are the nations that are affected. So listen up, autistic avengers, and tell me if this is conjecture. There was a no-time report that was issued, a no-time warning that was issued to Venezuela, of course, Colombia, Guyana, Trinidad and Tobago, and Brazil. Interestingly, Brazil. Now that is an interesting one. I mentioned Brazil to all you before. I tell all you Brazil go get involved. Colombia go get involved. Brazil go get involved. Now Colombia involved. And now Trinidad and Tobago is in the crosshairs of Colombia because of the United States of America and because of Big Mouth Miss Newsari and the autistic avengers. Because of them. They decide we are not a zone of peace. Okay. She decide we want war. She say you can't fix Trinidad without US military involvement. All you mash it up and you can't fix it. But you feel America go and come and fix it. Okay, let me look into that one. Look into that carefully. Now, madam, you have a massive problem on your hands. And me ain't talking about the war. Because now, China. I tell you China was involved. I tell you that. Conjecture, Mr. Lighthouse. conjecture, bad signal. That is conjecture. Okay. China involved. China ship a whole bunch of new radar system there. Whole bunch. And weapons. And drones. And military personnel. And more. And they say they will retaliate if Venezuela and US go to war. So did Russia. I tell you, Russia have both something around there. They are on the way with more. They say the Venezuelans, they had nothing. The old plane. The Su-30 can't do nothing. Okay. But the new, I think it's what, the KH-31 or something like that, missiles that they are loaded on all the planes, could fly at Mach 3 plus, making it almost impossible to shoot down. And they are designed to attack boats and ships. The coastline is flooded with anti-aircraft, basically creating like an iron dome. Not to mention over 150,000 active military personnel, not counting militia and not counting the citizens of the nation who will come together. And even a portion of that, madam, you are looking at over 1 million people fighting 15 to 18,000. And the 2 Trinidadian people you have in the military there, so. And one of them is part of the the autistic avengers. Mr. Gamma Radiation himself, the Black Hulk. Yeah. The Minister of now Homeland Security. So aside from the war that you're facing, madam, here is your biggest problem. Let me see if it does read. Since United States restricting all airspace into Trinidad and Tobago and the Caribbean, Southern Caribbean, especially Brazil, and you have their attention. Don't worry, madam. You have their attention now. But we get into that. And we go get into some other things. And I'll tell you how it all ties in. Pay attention. Sit down. Let the red man take you to school. Because I know you are pay attention in law school. I know you are pay attention at all. Because you kiss me as dotish. So sit your backside down and let the red man school you. Okay? Put on your nicest sari. Put the bangles and thing on your foot. Cover up the Trinbago lighthouse. Sobers, cover up your head. Because you go blind the video. You ain't go see nothing. Okay? Get the Black Hulk. And keep him away from the gamma shot. Because we don't want him swelling up and getting vexed. You go smash up everything. Okay? Get Monilal or Randy. Genius negotiator. Man can negotiate himself out a kiss me ass Kentucky box. But get he. And the man with the numbers, thank you and you're welcome. As well, you know, get Miss Kangaroo. Get she to hop she backside on there too. And always sit down. All you sit down. And listen. Let the red man school all you. Okay? Here's your problem, madam. And here's your massive problem. According to the art of war, what are a couple things that are essential for any military campaign? The 2 most essential things. Food and water. Food and water. Now, let me see all you had the water covered. Yeah, don't worry about it. Which you have a problem because you're having water problem now. But let me see you get that fixed. What about food? Where your food coming from? 80% of your food is imported. 80%. Where the majority of that food coming from? Well, you go say America, but that is not true. What America importing is not food. What America is importing is GMO seeds, not food. So that is not the case. So the majority of your food, madam, is imported from certain nations. What might those nations be? Miss Genius? Thank you and you're welcome. Man with the numbers. What countries? Me and go ask Alexander. He in the corner spinning around and thing. So leave here alone. Okay? Leave that Alexander alone. And me and go ask the Black Hulk because that man can't find a boat off the coast which sobers the Trinidad and Tobago lighthouse flashing a light from me for it. He can't see nothing. He can't see nothing. All that gamma radiation mash up his brain. So he ain't no. He just as good as the next Alexander. So leave he out of it. Let we ask the expert negotiator, Randy. Mr. Randy Monilal. Where your food coming from? You feel it's India? Miss Flying Carpet? Miss New Sari? Miss Maybelline? Your food coming from India? Well, let me tell you where your food coming from, madam. Brazil. China. Colombia. Guatemala. And Mexico. How much of those countries you get vexed right now? How much of them? How much of them don't like Trinidad and Tobago now and are threatening to cut off food? But you also have the United States cutting off airspace, which will reduce traffic, which will reduce shipping, which will reduce cargo. And we ain't talking about the water. Just air. And most of the food, especially agriculture, doesn't come in by boat. It is flown in. And the boats that are coming in, they will be cut off. They will not be allowed to dock into Trinidad and Tobago pretty soon. But you know that already. You don't want to say. So, madam, where you getting your food? America is threatening Mexico. Threatening to bomb them. What happens if Mexico decide to turn around and cut off all food import? Not just to the United States of America, which will be disastrous for their country, but to Trinidad and Tobago, which will be devastating. What happened when Colombia cut off food? And especially when China and Brazil, that make up the biggest portion, cut off food to Trinidad and Tobago. What then? What kind of war are you going to conduct? Answer me that question, Miss Genius Lawyer. Or get help from Miss Kangaroo. Tell she to pull Alexander out from in she pouch. You know, he was spinning in the corner, now we going and jump in the pouch there. So tell she to pull him out and answer the question. Where the food coming from? And how you conducting a war without food? What will happen to the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago when there is no food? And what will happen when they realize that the price of food is going to skyrocket soon? You feel you have a problem with Mexico and all these nations now? Whoo, madam, US see the start of the problem. You don't even realize the problem you have at home. But I know what you're going to do. You will use the state of emergency that give you grounds. No. Rephrase. Give your police grounds under Regulation 12 to 14 to arrest, detain, charge, and search anybody without cause or warrant under security. That is why you put in the state of emergency. To shut people up. Because they hurt your feelings. They hurt your feelings. Okay. People, money and things getting detained. The country is collapsing financially. Mr. Gamma Radiation lying. Crime is dropping when the statistics show crime is on the increase. It had no boat, but those boats are, stopping trafficking. But it had no boat. So them non-existent boat stopping trafficking. Okay. Randy Munilal, genius negotiator. He can negotiate himself in Kentucky. But he's an expert negotiator. The man who was being investigated for money laundering and conflict of interest. But conveniently, your government make amendments to existing laws so that they will not be charged. 5 months, over $1 billion gone. But yet people get $1 off gas. You're increasing the taxes next year. And you hand over complete control of our waters to the United States. And you give one of our bases to the United States. They are there right now. You sell the ExxonMobil, a piece of the water that is larger than Trinidad and Tobago, and you give it to them. You give complete ownership for 3.5%, which you have to pay taxes on. But they don't have to pay taxes on the 97%. And whatever expenses they incur locating the oil, you must reimburse them for that. But that money have to come from the taxpayers. So, Mr. Gamma Radiation, he helpless. The next Alexander, that he in a corner turning around and thing and, spinning around and doing things so and give him a water gun, he go sit there and start to shoot ants on the floor and thing. Keep he occupied, eh? He helpless. I feel bad for him, eh? The genius with numbers. The man so blasted dotish, he can't count up the money in the freaking wallet. So he helpless. Randy Munilal is one me ain't going to talk about. He. And you, Miss Genius, giving away everything. And thieving. And lying. And putting the Caribbean at risk. and every citizen in Trinidad and Tobago. So like I said before, or you're either real stupid or dangerous. And in either case, madam, it is terrifying for the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. Military experts are warning the United States and telling them to pull back. Every economist is saying the same thing. Historians are saying the same thing. Military personnel, former military personnel resigning. Former military are sounding the alarm. Governments are sounding the alarm. People who was on Trump campaign and his party are resigning and leaving. People who supported him are now speaking up against him. He talk about political lawfare while he using the same thing to go after people. You telling Trinidadians the drugs coming from Venezuela, when America's statistics and different statistics say Venezuela not even in the top 15 drug producers, and moreover they don't produce no fentanyl. But Donald Trump don't believe what they had to say, and he's saying hundreds of tons of fentanyl coming in the country. All these YouTubers and things, and say hundreds of tons. That is enough fentanyl to kill every man, woman, and child on this planet many times over. The largest bus of fentanyl in the United States was 400 pounds. And that come from where? Mexico. Brought in by who? An American. Through where? A point of entry. They tell Canada's the largest shipper of fentanyl, when the statistics show less than 1% coming through Canada. Less than 1%. They tell all the Colombia's the biggest cocaine dealer in the world, when the numbers show that Ecuador produced more cocaine than Colombia ever did. They telling all there is drug boat, that they can't show you no drugs. And people who deal with this say, drug runners don't fill their boat with people. They will have one man fill the boat with drugs. And that is how they operate. They don't put other people on the boat. Two Trinidadians get killed. Your mouth shut. Colombia have evidence to support their claim that they were fishermen that were killed. But that don't matter, because Donald Trump say he's a narco trafficker. Though that is the man who is actually destroying drugs in the country. He going to reclassify Maduro as a terrorist. But he invite an actual terrorist in the blasted White House. He want to pass laws against socialism, communism. But New York City elect a communist mayor. And he invite the man in the White House. He telling everybody, United States was telling everybody, don't do oil, don't do this, don't do that. Global warming, climate change. But they say one answer, Saudi Arabia and Qatar. Saudi Arabia, who has been investigated in the past for financing terrorism. That's not hyperbole, that is a fact. They have been investigated. And Qatar, who is known to finance terrorism. Not only that, they house the terrorists. They live there. Donald Trump building a golf course. And Qatar giving him a $500 million plane. And he letting Qatar open a military base in the United States. Michigan get overrun. United States, all these parts of the United States collapsing. Economy crashing. The stock market fluctuating, going up and down and up and down and up and down and up and down. Like a blasted kangaroo. That is like a Miss Kangaroo. Miss Kangaroo, when she hops she backside on a stage, up and down and up and down. It's just like that. It's on the verge of crashing. It will crash. It's not if, it's when. Hyperinflation. He's telling people we're going to make it cheaper, but everything more expensive. We creating jobs, but people losing jobs. Unemployment rate skyrocketing. People can't afford their house. Why? Because the interest payments alone make it impossible. So he created a 50-year loan to save BlackRock from bankruptcy. And while all of this going on, he was the man at first telling her nothing on the Epstein file. That is hyperbole. There's nothing there. There's nothing there. I never knew Epstein. Then it come out, he know him for donkey years. Them was partner. I was never there. I never on the plane. Come out, he was on the plane. But nothing ever happened. And now he want to bring it out. Why? So people don't pay attention to all the things that are going on in the background. Every law states what he's doing is illegal. And you, madam, by the way, you should know that. You should know that one. You know what you're doing is illegal. You and the autistic avengers. You are complicit and you damn well know it's illegal. And if I could prove that, and me and no lawyer, madam, a good lawyer will mash you up in court. Hold on. Sorry, it's selling something out there. A competent lawyer, somebody who actually pay attention in school, go mash you up in court. You go after a woman for what you say inciting violence. No, I agree. What she says, she should have shut him out. You don't say things like that. You don't threaten people. You don't give away people's address. But the whole world know where you live in. Miss Fancy House. Miss New Saree. Everybody know you in the bat cave with the bat signal. And you have Mr. Gamma Radiation, the Black Hulk, stand out in front there so with the Doberman, I think, protecting the house. And you have the next Alexander spinning around in circle and thing on the lawn to distract everybody. While the genius with the numbers, Mr. Tanko, and you're welcome, finding way to make you money so you could buy all your nice saree and thing. And Randy, he there to negotiate with everybody. And you know how you negotiate? ChatGPT. You go pick up and ask ChatGPT, how I could get this? All right, I go and see that. So, Mr. ChatGPT, Randy. ChatGPT negotiator. AI negotiator, Randy. So we know you're hiding. And we know you're lying. But everything I just say is conjecture. You are telling Trinidadians prepare. You are telling them that there will be a food shortage. That is coming. I told you that. Conjecture. I told you Russia was involved. Conjecture. I told you China will get involved. Conjecture. I told you China have an embassy in Trinidad and Tobago. And who computer chip all you running? China. So when things happen there, Watch and see, madam. I tell you, Donald Trump breaking every law. That is not conjecture. That is a fact. Now he's changing the rules of the game by classifying Maduro as a terrorist, so they can use military action to remove him. But as said, they fighting a losing battle because they are not taking into account the enemy within their own country. They can't shut down a whole country. And while you are there, they will overrun you from inside. And 18,000 men must be on the beach. They must land in the country. And when they do, that is the beginning of the problem. So they will bomb Venezuela. Oh, and by the way, this weekend, yesterday, I think it was yesterday, them fly that B-52 bomber. Yeah. Well, madam, it was carrying nuclear weapons. You didn't tell Trinidadians about that. B-52, nuclear bomber. I tell them they was flanked by 2 F-18Es and aircraft refuelers and the RC-132 or 130 something spy plane. I told them that. You didn't say nothing. I did. And now it come out, it was a nuclear bomber. The CIA sabotaged the oil. Why? Because Venezuela just signed a deal with Russia to provide them with oil until 2040, as well as China. So now they have definite vested interest because America blowing up the oil field in Russia. So now Russia will use Venezuela to launch a proxy war, the same way the United States is using Ukraine and telling them Monroe Doctrine, while they are providing weapons there. But don't do it here. And you and the autistic avengers want to claim all they don't know nothing. When the Status of Forces Agreement, the SUFA agreement say you and the autistic avengers have to give permission. Man, me no match genius, you know. But them maths are making no sense at all. At all. You either real kiss me ass dotish or madam, you are dangerous. I find it perplexing how all these nations manage to elect the same stupid government all over the blasted world and nobody see a problem. Nobody. The whole blasted world flip on him. It kill Kiteso and nobody noticing. All are always smiling and nothing to fear. Miss Nusari is here. Don't worry. We will keep the darkness away. We have the human lighthouse sobers over there. And if anyone attacks, we have the Black Hulk. We go choke him in the bottom with some gamma radiation and let him go. Don't worry, nothing to fear. And we have the the Joker of the group. The autistic avenger. The next Alexander. The man so autistic, but he had to sit down on a bus with a helmet. We have he. He ain't gonna do much, but he go entertain you. Nothing to fear. Trinidad and Tobago's autistic avengers are here. And we will fly on my broom, I mean magic carpet. You want to use laws to limit what people could say, limit what people could do. Declare a state of emergency that you are extending into next year. And then you're going to further extend it. Why? Because it gives your government and your corrupt police power to do as they wish. And you cannot be questioned, nor can they. Because without that status of forces agreement, without that, state of emergency, that woman who made that post wouldn't have been detained. No. She would have had a warning. You would have no legal grounds to do anything. But now you could say, this person hurt my feelings, go and get him. Well, madam, I hope I hurt your feelings. Because I say nothing that is false. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. You can't prove me wrong. You know America. Because everything I've said is fact and can be cross-referenced. So to Trinidadians, Tobagonians, Latin America, be aware. Be very aware. There will be food shortages and it's coming soon. Followed by gas shortages. That is coming soon. There will be more flight restrictions. And when you see a country start to reduce and limit airspace, something big going on happen. But nothing to fear. Nothing to fear. Miss Nusari is here. Nothing to fear. America is going to bomb Venezuela. And then they're going after Colombia. And then they're going after Cuba. And if you think I'm lying, then why is Russia flying back and forth from Venezuela to Cuba? Why? They impoverish those people. They destroy their lives and blaming it on government there. That government is not faultless. Don't get me wrong. They are damn guilty, but they're not faultless. And they are not solely responsible. Because had it not been for America, the people wouldn't be starving. Had it not been for America, people wouldn't be starving in Venezuela. America. Maduro is not faultless. Castro was not faultless. But they were not solely to blame. America is a country, they go tell you, do so I like so. They go tell you, do as I say, not as I do. I could do it, you can't do it. Monroe Doctrine. Don't come here, but we go in there. You cannot force a regime change, but we go in and do it. You can't kill people without due process, but we could do it. You have to allow a nation to run their country, unless it's we. But we could do it. Donald Trump saying he's there for Americans, but all he put in is corporate interests ahead of his own people. But you telling Trinidadians they're there to help. And you prepping Trinidad and Tobago military to go to war with America on Venezuela. We brother and sister there. And you want to feel that the cousin and thing that live next door ain't gonna come and cut your ass. You that dotish. But you are paying for it. Trinbagonians paying for it. And when the food stop flowing, because 80% of your blasted food is imported, madam. 80%. And when America's food stop flowing from Mexico, let me see what you could do. When Trinidadians and Tobagonians really start to revolt, let me see what you could do, madam. Let me see how that state of emergency will come into play then. And when them same police can't buy food to put in the kiss me ass house, let me see how long their loyalty will last. Let me see. I want to see that. You and the autistic avengers, well, you're dangerous. And Trinidadians and Tobagonians should be terrified because you're giving away the country right under the kiss me ass nose, and nobody's saying a word. And if anybody say anything, you could call them a threat to security and inciting violence and lock them up and put them in jail. But you are locking up police for trafficking and drug dealing and murder. Don't lock them up. Promote them. Don't lock up government officials for corruption and conflict of interest and embezzlement. Don't do nothing to them. They're innocent until proven guilty. But everybody else is guilty until they prove their innocence. That is the law you learn. That is your idea of law, madam. You are completely helpless. I wouldn't hire you to work in Kentucky. So, all you make sure you have. Food shortages coming. Food shortages are coming. And if you think it's expensive now, wait and see. Make sure you have. Be prepared. It's better to have and not need than need and not have. Because when things start to happen, you want to say wait and see, wait and see, wait and see, wait and see, wait and see. And when time come and you start to see, don't run and try and get, because you ain't gonna get nothing. And if you could get it, you go pay more. Make sure you have. Be prepared. Because them prepared, they know. But them I go tell all you. And when they get real bad, all of them go jump on plane and fly their backside to America. And leave all you there, sir. And hand over control of the country to the United States under national security reasons. Because now the country is being threatened by Venezuela and Russia and China. And they can't deal with it. And they don't have the manpower. And the only country that could help them is the United States. And the US military. And now they will control the oil and the refining and the asphalt and the fertilizer. Food, fuel, water, resources, and they control all that. What do I know? Me, I know nothing. I's a madman. I just some madman living in Latin America here, so in a small house with no running water and thing. Me, I know. I's a humble tradesman. Me, I know nothing. Anyway, as always, I love all you too bad. Bad too bad. Like I say, all are we the same, all are we brother and sister. The illusion is that you're different. That is the illusion they create to cause a delusion to divide. Because together we aspire, together we achieve, but divide. divided, all of we go fall together. And they know that. It ain't no Latin America and Caribbean and this and that. Nah, partner. Is one people, one family. Love your brother and sister as you love yourself. Protect the innocent. Feed the hungry. Clothe the naked. Love up the children. Help your brother and sister. Don't thief from them. Don't take advantage of them. Love each other. They could hold some of we. They can't hold all of we. And if we stand together under God, partner, they can't stop we. Let us have an army strong enough. But no violence. Live by the sword, die by the sword. No violence. Affect the pocketbook. Affect the pocketbook. If the country shut down and nobody ever work, no taxes are getting paid, they go fix it damn fast. Because them have enough police and military to do nothing. They can't deal with criminal. No. They go deal with every Trinidadian if they turn around and say, we ain't working, we ain't doing nothing. Every Tobagonian, we ain't doing nothing. You think they could do that? They go fix it fast. But we have to stand together. That is we nation. Trinbago belong to we. Not she. Not them. We. That is we country. That is we nation. And that is we family. And them Venezuelan, them is we family too. I love all you too bad. I love my family, you know. There's no bigger show of love than to give your life for the people you love. And I go put my head on a block for my family. But me give one NASA about the autistic avengers and them. Love your family. So God bless all you. God guide all you. God keep all you safe. God grant all your love, strength and compassion. And if it's His will, He'll build it again. Stronger, better, and sweeter than before. In His time. So God bless. Take it easy, Chad.